During my Olympic career, I was one of those people who relished competition. I thrived under the pressure. I can still remember walking into the Georgia Dome the summer of 1996, 40,000 screaming fans, American flags just covering the Georgia Dome. Flashbulbs going off like the 4th of July, and we walked in, the Magnificent Seven, as we would come to be known, and we just thought, this is our night. We are not leaving this arena without that gold medal. It is ours. And by the end of the competition, there we stood, atop that podium. First ever women's gymnastics team to win Olympic gold for the United States of America. And it was magical. It was absolutely magical. It's kind of one of those moments, you're up on the podium, you just kind of want to stay there. Like, bring me a sleeping bag, I'm just gonna hang out here for a while. But eventually we had to go down, and so it's kind of a lot like this. You're on the podium, you walk down the stairway, and my coach greeted me at the bottom, and he gave me this big bear hug, and he took me by the shoulders, he looked me in the eyes, and he said, all right, get focused, you got 3 more competitions to go. Yes, sir. And he was right. You come off of this amazing high, but I still had the all-around competition. I had the vault finals, and I had the balance beam finals still to go. So I go into the all-around competition, where you compete on all 4 of the apparatus, and I did pretty well. For those of you that know anything about gymnastics, I stepped over the white line, out of bounds, and a boo. But yeah, so I didn't finish where I would have liked. That's okay. I thought, vault, okay, let's regroup, redemption, I can hit 2 vaults, no problem, I got this. Run down that 70-foot runway as fast as my little legs will take me, I'm springing onto that springboard, and I fly right over the horse. Splat, right on my backside, in front of the world. Not exactly how I saw my Olympics going. And I was embarrassed, and I was pretty devastated, and as I walked off of the podium yet again, I realized this is my last shot. I've got 1 shot left to bring home an Olympic medal for my country. I have one last event, the last 90 seconds of my entire Olympic career, and it all comes down to balance beam. 4 inches, I fall off that thing all the time. And this is what I have to look forward to. And I was terrified. So that final night of my competition, I walked back up onto that podium. I saluted the judge for the last time. And I held my hands over the top of the beam for just a couple of extra seconds that night and took an extra deep breath. And I thought, this is it. You know, I've been through the blood, sweat, and tears. I've done the repetition. I've worked so hard to get to this one moment. There's nothing else I can do. You know, all I can do is go out there and give 100%. That's all anyone can ask of me. It's all I can ask of myself. So I started the routine, and it's amazing. This is the first time I could recall truly allowing the audience in with me. Because as a gymnast, you're taught from day one, you block out everything around you. The noise, the lights, whatever else is going on, doesn't matter, you're in your own world. But this time, I wanted to enjoy that moment, and I wanted to invite the audience in with me. And that routine flew by. All of a sudden, I'm standing at the end of the beam, arms raised high, ready for the dismount, and I just said a little prayer, please God, just let me land on my feet tonight. I hurtled down that beam, 1 twist, 2 flips later. When I felt my feet hit the floor, it was the most amazing feeling. You know, this joy and the excitement and the relief, and I saw my coach Steve jumping up and down, going crazy on the sidelines, and I think I saluted the judge, but who knows at that point. I didn't know if there was a medal, what color it might be. I didn't even know my score. I just wanted to live in that moment, that one moment when everything, all the hard work, not just from me, but from all of those who sacrificed to get me to that point, when all of it came together. And I know it's funny how we tend to remember the good stuff, right? We remember the gold medal moments, we remember the stuck routines, but yes, I vaulted myself right onto my rear end. I have fallen off the beam thousands of times. I've suffered a litany of injuries and indignities in my 15 years as a competitive athlete. And yes, those moments were often embarrassing. humiliating even, at times defeating, but they only made me stronger. After my cancer diagnosis, I slowly began listening to those words that had guided me through so many pivotal moments in my life. And they became my rallying cry. You get knocked down, you get back up, dust yourself off, and you keep going. When I would look at myself in the mirror and not recognize that person looking back, because I had no hair or eyelashes or eyebrows, and my skin was pale, I had to constantly remind myself, this was not a symbol of my sickness. This was a symbol that I was doing everything that I could to get and remain healthy. It was my forward step. I was working really hard in the gym one night when things kind of came crashing down all around me. I was on bars. I was doing a bar dismount, one that I had done a million times before. And for whatever reason that night, I kind of pulled in. So I was coming around, and I just tapped my feet on the top bar. And all of a sudden, I was going toward my head from about 10 feet in the air. And I put my arms out to break the landing. Not a good idea. And I remember just the impact with the floor. And then I kind of rolled a little bit, and I saw my coach running over, peeling off his jacket, throwing it over my left arm so I wouldn't see it. And then it was just kind of this whirlwind. The pain set in, and I realized something was very, very wrong. So I just stayed down, and one of the gymnasts ran and got ice. Another one of my teammates took my grips off. I was kind of piled into the back of my coach's car and driven to the hospital. And when we got there, he had, I guess, called my parents and the team doctor, who happens to be an orthopedic surgeon. And we met all of them at the hospital. I was rushed in for x-rays and then sat waiting in a room to learn my fate. And I remember the doctor came in, and he knew me. He was in the gym a lot. So he said, well, okay, you've broken your arm, you've dislocated your elbow, but you've also broken a piece of bone off. So I'm going to put a cast on you for the next 6 weeks. And then I just kind of heard blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay. He must have seen some look on my face, like, that's not going to happen. A cast in 6 weeks right before Olympic trials, it doesn't work. You don't have time for that. And he said, okay, I've got a plan B. So just hold on. I'll take you into surgery tonight. I've got to put a screw in to hold the bone together. And I'll put a splint on. And if you follow my rules exactly, then I'll keep the cast off. But if I hear anything, and I'm going to be in the gym from time to time, I'm going to do drop-ins, and if I see you're doing too much too fast, I'm going to put a cast on there. And I said, okay, I will follow the rules, whatever it takes. I was just grasping at any hope that I possibly could. And I went into surgery that night, and as I was being wheeled out of the hospital the next afternoon with my parents, my coach was coming in as we were going out. And I'll never forget that moment. He looked down at me, and there are so many things he could have said at that moment. He could have said, oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. These things happen, and maybe in another 4 years, which is an eternity for a 15-year-old, maybe would try for world championships, or it's just not. He could have said so many things at that point. He didn't say any of that stuff. He looked me straight in the eye, and he said, looks like we got some work to do. I'll see you in the gym tomorrow. Yes, sir. And I did. That was a moment that was not only a turning point in my career, but it was a turning point in my life. It's a turning point that I look to when I face challenges like cancer and other big challenges in my life. That was that moment where he cleared out any pity party I had going on in my head. And he showed me that he believed in me. And that allowed me to believe in myself. you get back up. And that's life. You know, we're all going to get knocked down at some point. We're going to get shoved down at some point, and you just keep getting back up. I know it's not easy, and it may take every last ounce of strength and fortitude you have to carry on when you're facing unexpected setbacks and insurmountable obstacles. But you can't win and you can't succeed. You can't thrive and flourish and soar if you don't dare to try. But losing your hair is tough. It is, and I thought I was kind of prepared. I didn't like you saw my hair in the video, come on. So, you know, it wasn't all that great to begin with, so I wasn't real heartbroken. But it's tough. It is like losing your identity. You know, when you look in the mirror and you don't have any hair or eyebrows or eyelashes and your skin's pale, it's tough. And my doctor was very good. He was very upfront with me. Yes, you're going to lose your hair. It's going to happen in the first 2 weeks. Day 13, I walk into his office. I hadn't lost a strand of hair on my head, and I said, I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm not going to lose my hair. And he just kind of smiled. The next morning, wake up, you know, clumps. Because of my cancer, I've had the privilege of helping others in a way that I never imagined possible. Like many of you, I have come here this week with purpose on my mind, hope in my heart. By sharing our experiences and joining our voices, we are shining a light on the power of survivorship. We are helping create even more awareness and education. We are leading the charge for more funding and more resources devoted to finding not just another test or another screening or better quality of life, but we're here to find a cure. It has become a very personal fight for me, and of course we deal with cancer awareness, we deal with heart disease awareness, as well as nutrition and fitness and finding time for yourself and all of the things that are related to health and fitness. But I hope by focusing on that overall gold medal mindset, setting those goals, staying motivated, knowing that each day matters, being able to pick ourselves back up after we make a mistake and move toward success. I hope those things will consistently help others to make good decisions with regard to their health and wellness. And does that mean that we have to be perfect? No, I obviously do not have the perfect diet or the perfect exercise regimen. But I think that's okay. In fact, if we want to lead by example, then it's not a bad thing for us to fall every now and then. Because you know what, our kids are going to see that. They see that we make mistakes. I want my kids to know that I make mistakes because I want them to see how I handle that mistake, how I bounce back. They need to learn that lesson themselves so that they're prepared when they do make those mistakes.
I really do try to really remember and think about the difficulties and the challenges that I faced along the way. I can say that I definitely learned much more from my failures than I ever did from my successes. And those lessons that I learned have helped me so much in sport and so much more in life beyond sport. Those lessons learned through gymnastics, they're some of the most important lessons that I've ever learned. They helped me excel in gymnastics, certainly, but they help me these days in running my company, in motherhood, and even in my battle with cancer. They help me every day in reminding me that I have to take care of my health, and they help me take care of the health and well-being of my family. And it's these lessons that make up what I like to call the gold medal mindset. And this is great because I'm not going to make you wear a leotard, I promise. It's great because anyone can have the gold medal mindset. You don't have to do cartwheels, you don't have to swim like Michael Phelps, because the gold medal mindset is really just an attitude. It's an attitude of winning every day. No matter what life or work throws at you, you get up and you try to win the day.
I think I took my health for granted, that it would always be there. I was always healthy and active. You don't think about it until it's gone. Our kids aren't going to think about it. We have to think about it for them. Cancer is a game changer. It really focuses your priorities like never before. My husband and I discussed how public I wanted to be about my diagnosis because, you know, not every girl wants to go around the country talking about her ovaries. But I figured if I was going to have to go through this, right, the surgery and the chemo and losing my hair and eyelashes and eyebrows, I wanted something positive to come out of it. The toll that it was going to take on me and my family, I needed something positive to come out of it. If I could help one woman make her appointment or go see her doctor or think about those symptoms, then it was a good thing. Turn what seems to be a negative into a positive. You often may find that you need to rethink your strategy, back up, turn around, take a different route. Savor these moments and the blessings that they can bring. It's often these moments that end up defining our character. I believe remaining positive is crucial. I believe a negative attitude is the most detrimental thing to success. Mistakes and obstacles, okay, so we all face those. You can learn from them. Most of the time, even fix them. But a bad attitude can bring you down quicker than anything else. It can cause you to lose hope when you need it most.